Hi, guys. Welcome to a little bit of woo woo. I'm your host, Jill Thomas. Thank you for your patience. I've been out of town off and on for 2 weeks, but I was home for one day and I recorded an episode with Karen Schroeder. And if you guys haven't seen that, it's amazing. She's just amazing. We talked for like an hour about a whole lot of random things, and we got astrological and an intuitive perspective on a lot of kind of bits of random information, but it was really, really good. And I saw in the comments, because I'd asked you guys to post who you thought could be, because I know you guys are intuitive, or else this wouldn't be interesting to you, who you thought would be a good candidate for the Democratic ticket, or even in the Republican ticket. To be honest with you, a lot of great suggestions that are now going to be on my radar. I got to tell you too, though, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I used to think that Gavin Newsom didn't really have much of a chance. It's a little early in the game, but I'm starting to lean that direction now. I think he actually could, because I was definitely seeing like a business owner, and I didn't realize he kind of is or has been a business owner. And I was seeing that sort of business owner perspective of sometimes, I have to admit this kind of the mistake that sometimes the Democrats make of forgetting that if you make it hard to do business, then business owners won't start businesses and hire people. I think that's kind of a mistake the Democrats made. I was seeing somebody who's going to have a little bit more of a business leaning and approach government that way a little bit, at least more than we are experiencing now, actually. But anyway, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to say I think that Gavin Newsom has a good chance, even though it is a little early in the game. So I have also been out of town. I have been to a place where there's not really much TV, so I couldn't. I don't know what's going on. I saw a little bit, but not a lot. So enough to be really saddened by what happened at that Catholic school with all those kids. It's so sad. I'm so sorry for those people and all of that experience. But today I wanted to talk about. I've got a list, so humor me. First of all, very important. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. I am a lawyer. I know, right? Hard to believe, not a doctor or a lawyer. And I am also not a stock portfolio manager. If you need one of those, call one of those. But this is for entertainment purposes. Anything I'm about to say is allegedly. And when it comes to especially economics, which I'm going to talk about today, don't listen to me. Use your own wisdom. You guys are smart. You know a lot of stuff. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I'm just some person on TV that you watch once in a while. And maybe on your computer, maybe on your phone. I don't know. Maybe sometimes you just listen to me. Happy to be here. So I wanted to talk about some things kind of random, because I haven't been watching the news. But one thing I got right away was that I know that we're seeing a lot of 47's health issues. It's becoming less and less of a secret. And what I was absolutely seeing is that we were going to start to see, air quote, for those of you listening, leaks of more what's going on with his health, more stuff on the Epstein list, more of that kind of information coming out. Leaks. Is it a leak if somebody from the allegedly for entertainment purposes Vance crew releases it? I think we're going to be seeing some sort of very targeted, timed leaks coming out of stuff that will be very hard for 47 administration to explain away, or even for Fox News to explain away. Yeah, I know a lot of people say, I mean, I do see the Democrats winning the midterms. I do. And we're going to talk about some of the things, some of that other stuff as well. But I will say that I would love to sit here and say it's because, ICE is grabbing people off the street and disappearing them. And we don't want that. And we want people to have health care. We want people to have food. At the end of the day, I actually think it's going to be about the economy and about Epstein. I really think that at the end of the day, people really care about, money in their bank accounts, jobs disappearing. That's going to be more important than some of this other stuff that's peripheral, that is important to the world and makes the world a better, safer place. But at the end of the day, people are going to vote with their pocketbook, and that's ultimately what I see happening. That's, I think, what's going to be the downfall of the Republicans in the midterm, right? Because people are going to be seeing the economic backlash of some of the things that are happening. Anecdotally, I was at Catalina Island, you guys, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's usually very crowded. And I've never seen it this dead. I've never seen it this dead. When I was riding over on the ferry boat was full, but I was eavesdropping. You guys, if you're saying something interesting around me, I'm listening. I'm just that person, right? But almost everybody on the ferry boat was just going over for the day. Like, people weren't staying the night, which means they're not eating in the restaurants, which means they're not staying at the hotel, and which means the hotel's not paying their staff. All of those things that happen is this cascade effect. It could just be the time that we were there, but we've gone a lot, and I've never seen it that dead. Oh my God, you guys. There was no line at the Starbucks. Have you ever been to a Southern California Starbucks and had a line? I thought it was closed. I'm like, there's nobody here. It's weird. It's weird. I'm just saying. The economy is going to be more and more of an issue. As the end of the year, it's going to start to get really tough. It's already tough for a lot of you guys. You don't need to put it in the comments. I already know. And into next year, it's going to be rough, but I do see it coming back. It's just going to be coming back slowly and in little bits and pieces. Having said that, I do want to talk about the housing market because I'm getting a lot of people in readings asking me, hey, is it a good time for me I could pick up an Airbnb on the cheap right now? Yes, you could. And you know what's better than getting an Airbnb on the cheap? Getting one on the cheaper next year. Okay. So I'm seeing for a lot of people in a lot of markets that you're going to get some deals if you wait a little bit, if you just wait a little bit. Now, having said that, every market is different. You guys know, do 10 times as much research as you think you need to do. And just know that you could use them in a lot of cases. It's going to be better if you just wait a bit. I mean, there's a lot of grandmas. A lot of grandmas going to be going into nursing homes. This whole thing, this baby boomers are going to start to age out, and they got houses. Some of them have 2 or 3 houses, and they're going to be selling those. And wouldn't it be nice to pick up one of those for a shekel? I'm just saying. I would say for most of you people really need to research this. And in most cases, I see it being better to wait. Okay. Also, on the economy front, I am seeing some buying opportunities coming in the stock market. Again, don't listen to me. Use your own wisdom. Unless your wisdom is telling you to be 100% in Palantir or 100% in long-dated treasuries, in which case, you listen to me. Okay. I'm not a stock portfolio manager, but being 100% in anything is a very bad idea right now, even if it's Bitcoin. Okay. I'm just saying. Doing some diligence, diversifying. And right now I'm seeing some buying opportunities coming. I feel like it's going to be September, October-ish. I feel like there's going to be a dip. I'm not going to say a crash. A dip meaning 10, 15%. A crash would be, I think, more like 25, 30. I don't know what the classic definition of a crash is, but whatever. Keep some powder dry. Okay, you guys, there might be some chances for stuff. I'm not saying sell everything today. I'm saying if you got some extra coinage, set it aside because you might be able to pick up a few things for cheaper than you had before. Just get your list together on what you want to buy when it goes down. Okay, I'm just saying. I also want to talk about Lisa Cook, who was on the FOMC committee. She was a voting member. Incredibly qualified woman. Incredible qualifications like you wouldn't believe. She also happens to be, oh my God, a woman of color, a Biden appointee, and dare I say it, a woman. She was also the most recent target by the Trump administration, who, air quotes, fired her. I don't see that. I don't see her losing her job. I do see the Supreme Court coming back and saying, hey, when we said Powell, we didn't just mean Powell, we meant everyone on that board. I do think that the damage is done, though. People are very uncomfortable with the economic agenda of the Trump administration, especially with firing the person in charge of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And they're also concerned. And in her case, and in poor Lisa's case, I'm sure she's feeling sad and grief about this reputation, which she's worked so hard to create, being tarnished by kind of a paperwork error. I don't know. She was not convicted of anything. Let's put it that way. And we're not talking about anything that was really all that bad. I'm just saying. And that's, again, allegedly, she was not convicted of this. This is just rumors. And yes, they probably do have some proof, but she hasn't gone to court and been charged or fined $500,000 for anything like this. So I do see it being okay, but I do see it being kind of upsetting for her. And if I was her buddy, I'd want to give her a hug. But I like her because she's like standing up for herself and she's not saying, oh, no, I'm just going to leave, go quietly. I love that. I'm just saying, I love that. Troops in Chicago. Oof, I had a dream about that one. I think that's going to happen, you guys. I do think he's going to try and deploy the National Guard in Chicago. Having met quite a few people from Chicago over the course of my life, they just don't play. I do see a lot of very passive-aggressive behavior on the part of maybe the police. They're not going to be cooperating. Let's put it that way. Giving bad directions, doing whatever they can to make these people feel like they should go back to their place where they belong, where the troops belong. I don't see it going on for very long, but I think it's an intimidation strategy against the blue states, also against any state where there's a viable Democratic candidate for president. I think we're going to be seeing more of this kind of thing, but I actually think I feel like it might end with Chicago because I feel like they're going to cross a line. It's going to be like a bridge too far. And the Supreme Court might put a stop to this one. I'm not sure how it plays out because I can't really see that. It does feel like there's a lot of legal wrangling, but I do think it's going to end with Chicago. There's going to be other cities where there's going to be similar problems, but in terms of the deploying for without cause or being just uninvited showing up, I don't see that happening again after Chicago. I don't see it. I might be wrong. I'm hope I'm right on that one because I do feel like it's going to end in Chicago. On the Ukraine war front, I did want to talk about that. Oh my God, you guys, I didn't tell you this. My husband's an engineer, and he has several members on his team that are from the Ukraine, they're actually in Ukraine. And they had a meeting, and he was there on just in a regular Zoom meeting, status of what's going on, you doing your job, whatever. One of these guys had to drop off because he said he got an airstrike alert on his phone, and it was so casual about it. Like, it's just like, this is what Thursday is. This is what we do on oh, it's an airstrike. I gotta go hide in the bunker. Sorry guys, gotta go. I mean, this is what everyday life is for these people, and it's so sad. But what I was seeing on the Ukraine front is I was seeing there's an escalation. I think that's already in the news. I think I was seeing that on CNN at the airport, you guys. But I do see this escalation just horrifying the members of the European community, and I do feel like it is going to ultimately, in the very, I want to say September, October front, in the near future, lead to some peace time framework that actually does stick. Okay, you guys. So I do think it's going to end soon. I really do. I don't think this is going to drag out for too much longer. And I do feel like that last push is going to be what puts it over the top and kind of puts a stop to it. Okay, you guys. But it is really sad. It's really sad. Oh my God. Diego Garcia Abrego, I'm not saying that guy's name right. The one who got deported to Venezuela, and now they're saying I'm going to deport him to Uganda. I don't see that happening. In fact, I had a flash on that one because I was asking my spirit guides about justice. Like, is there going to be any justice for some of these crimes? I was seeing him getting that visa that you can get, and forgive me if somebody can write it in the comments. I know there's a special name for this visa. It's when you've been a witness to a crime and you testify, you can get a certain kind of visa. I see him getting one of those, and I see several other people getting one of those visas. So I think I do see him ultimately being able to live here and stay here. There may be a little time in jail, but he might get one of those, time served, or we've punished you too much already for whatever we think we did. We don't really have proof for. I do see him getting ultimately to stay here permanently. Okay, getting a visa. I was also being shown, because I was asking, like I said, I wanted to know about justice. Is there going to be any justice? I was seeing Pam Bondi going to jail. Now, I'm like looking at this going, hey, guys, wouldn't just Vance or Trump like pardon her? I was seeing her being taken away, going to jail for obstruction of justice and treason. So I don't, again, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, my visions are not proof of anything. Surprise, surprise. But I was definitely seeing her getting some justice. I was seeing the other one. I was asking about the person in charge of ICE, whose name escapes me for some. I spent too much time on a plane, you guys. But anyway, I was saying that she's got a better get out of jail free card. So I don't think that she is going to get justice done to her. But they were showing me with some of these ICE agents that when they're going to try and get jobs, because eventually this escalation is going to get disbanded and these people are going to have to go back to regular jobs, right? I see a lot of employers looking at that on a resume and saying, I just don't want to hire this person. So I see a lot of those people trying to figure out how to scrub it from their resume because people don't want to hire that. And it is interesting to see, because I did see a news article where ICE came to an active fire zone and asked a group of firefighters to leave their post, to leave fighting the fire in Washington, like the biggest fire in the state, and prove that they were American citizens, and two of them couldn't. So, and they were hauled away. But I watched the video, and the firefighters kind of in the face of the ICE guy when asking what's going on, and the ICE guy says, "Get the F out of here," right? I was surprised those firefighters didn't just say, "Okay, yeah, let's get the F out of here and let you guys fight the fire. Why don't you see how that goes?" Right? Those guys were pulled from the fire line for 3 hours, you guys. That's crazy. That's the kind of stuff that makes people really angry. That's the kind of stuff that makes people really question what's happening here. And the injustices, the cruelty that's going on, that is going to end. It is temporary. It's going to be it's going to it's going to take some time to clean up the mess, but that's going to stop, and I really do think it ultimately is going to end up being about the economy, you guys. I'm sorry. I really do see that being about the economy and not about some of the not so nice stuff. The other thing I was saying that I did want to mention is that I think I had mentioned this before because somebody put a note in the comments about this. RFK going after certain pharmaceuticals, and they were going to start with these thyroid meds that are very popular that largely women are taking. They're actually also going after some SSRIs and trying to say that pregnant women can't take them. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. Again, that's I'm sure comes as a complete surprise, but RFK isn't one either, right? And some of the people on the committee to decide if a pregnant woman can take an SSRI are not people that I think are qualified. I think most people are qualified to make that decision. I'm not sure what the science is on this, but they are going to be going after more of these kinds of meds. Okay. So we are going to be seeing more things like birth control gone after. I think it's already a little bit harder to get Plan B in some circumstances in some states. We're going to be seeing more of that kind of thing. It is going to get restored later. Gosh, you guys, I miss science. I really miss science. Oh, I really miss having science. Anyway, it's going to be restored later, but right in the moment, if you're taking a medication that is something that the FDA could go after, you may not know. Just make sure you have a few extra refills. I gotta tell you, like, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of gossip here. I used to work for a vitamin company. I've shared that one before, but we had a product that competed with a product with Viagra. Actually, competed with Viagra. It was a testosterone boosting product. My boss is like, one of these days, some baseball player is going to take some insane amount of this, and die, and then we're all going to lose the ability to use this raw material. It was androstenedione. Um, and that's exactly what happened, you guys, because he said the FDA is just looking for a reason to get rid of this because it competes with Viagra, and it actually worked really well and it was natural. But you can't get it now. Yeah, you can't get it at all. I don't think you can even get it with prescription anymore. You had to reformulate all of our ingredients. I'm just saying the FDA does do this sometimes based on what product competes with what major pharmaceutical drug is out there, and if there might be some competing interests. I'm just saying. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. Don't listen to me. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is a clip I saw. It was from I think it's the Life of Karen. She does macroeconomic, very just simple economic advice, like how to manage your money. She's from Canada, and the clip was "Living from FU." Now it's from the movie The Gambler. I think you should watch this clip because it's some of the best, like, simple advice that you can get. It's only like 2 minutes long. But I'll put a link in the description to the version of it you want to see. But Living from FU is just about practical money advice. If you haven't seen the clip, you should watch it. I'm gonna leave you with that idea that driving an old car, living in a cheap house, living below your means that if somebody tells you to do something you don't want to do, you can just tell them, F you. So I'm gonna make that suggestion. Try to live life that way. Love each other and know that it's gonna be okay. This really is only temporary. Do your best. It will improve. I do promise you that because I do see it improving into 2026. And I want to say it's going to take a long, long time, but some things are going to improve, after the new year, and other things are going to take a little bit longer. But I love you guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, you guys. Bye, bye, bye. Have a great holiday.